Okay, so second video blog today, and I mentioned it in the last one, so I don't know which one I'm going to upload first, so it doesn't really make sense. But anyways, here's the other one. So I mentioned in the other video blog that I'm going to school, I'm going into human resources, so I'm going to have something else to do. I think this thing we've been going through for the last 2 years that was called a pandemic has made a lot of people try to do different things to make a long story short. So for me, I used to always say, "Oh, music is all I do." Uh, I started going to school, online classes, in June 2021, and it's been cool. I mean, it's been challenging, but I just the fact that I'm doing something different just makes me excited. To be honest with you, and I'm 3 semesters in. I'm actually 4 semesters in if you count the classes that will be starting sometime in May. I mean, what am I thinking? Sometime in January 2022. So a couple of weeks from now. Um, and I'm going into human resources. It's quite interesting to me. It's always kind of changing somewhat. It's been the news a lot lately, so learning about that. That's why I decided to get my associates, and we'll see where I go from there. I'd have to get a job in human resources, so I'm starting a little bit later than most people. So it'll be interesting to see where I go with it. But anyways, the reason why I'm making this vlog is because I want to reach out to other musicians. Now, if this isn't for you, if this isn't something that you relate to, it's not for you, then then it's not for you. It's not like I'm not saying you have to do this or you should do this, or I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for me, as a musician, music has no. I mean, maybe if you're more disciplined than I am, music has no real. Excuse me. uh, Timeline. Like, there's no necessarily wake up at 8 and go to work and get out at 5. Unless you play in like a band that plays at clubs at night, then you do like 8 to 11 or 10 to 2 a.m. And that's your office time. But you know what I mean. You get the picture. It's all over the place. And especially if you're an original musician that writes songs, releases them, it's like there's no right or wrong. It's just like, and that can be aimless. You know what I'm talking about. It's an aimless profession, and it only starts when people think it starts. Like, for example, oh, so and so's a musician, but they're a failed musician, or so and so's a musician, but they never got big. Like, you'll never. It's really hard to like carve out what exactly it is, you know. And for me, at this point in my life, by the way, I turned 40 in September of this last year, 2021. So you can throw that into the whole equation of me doing all this stuff. Nevertheless, I love music. I love making music, and I love writing music. I love performing it. I still love it the way I always have. And I'm going forward here in this solo project, and gonna find ways to do it along going into human resources. And that is my point with this. Like, I'm not saying to go into human resources. I'm just saying, don't think you have to only be a musician. Like, you don't. I'm not saying to do what I did, but I hear something a lot of musicians say. I've heard it. I've said it myself. I'm a musician because it's all I know. It's all I'm good at. Okay, in 2021, now 2022, it's kind of a statement that I don't think people really like to hear. Not that it really matters what people think, but what people think will kind of affect you, whether you like to think so or not. And you're gonna want to do something that feels like you got purpose, like feels like you're doing something with your life. Not that making music isn't, but it's a person by person basis. And for me, in this past year, I'm like, well, why do I say that? I mean, surely there's something else I'm good at. There has to be something else I can at least get good at, and maybe I want that. You might want that, and in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, you put it off. It's like, no, because I do music, and it's all I'm good at. I mean, let's take Joe Rogan. I think I've used him before in video blogs. I mean, comedian, vlogger, UFC host. He trains in martial arts. He does all these things, right? Now you could say, well, but he got big in this first and this, whatever. You're seeing a lot of people now spread themselves out somewhat. Like, because I think it's relatable to people. Back in the day, like in the music industry, like in the early music industry, it was like, you're married. Oh, hide that. Don't show people that. Nobody wants to see that. Oh, you're that old. Nah, don't say that. Nobody wants to know. Oh, your hair's black. No, I'll turn it blonde, or whatever. My point is, it was so much control because they thought they understood how people would, and maybe they were right. But at this point in time, it's like, no, it's like, oh, you work at McDonald's on the side? Nah, don't tell people that. You're a rock star. And now I think it's like, well, McDonald's is quite interesting, isn't it? Like, it's a good thing to talk about. I think it makes you more relatable. I'm only a musician, that's all I do. And that's okay if you do that and you're successful at it. By all means, keep doing that. And I really mean that. But it's like, for me in general, it's like, well, I guess it's for me. It felt like it's something I had to do. And I did it in human resources conference a few months ago, and it felt so great. Like, it was weird. It's funny because there's a lot of people that probably do that are probably like bored, but for me it's like, I was nervous, but I probably didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know what I was doing, but at the same time it was exciting because it's not something I was used to. It's not something I'm used to, and I'm learning. I'm growing as a person, I think, and that's the reason why I'm doing this, and I think that by me telling you, I was a person that did say that. Oh, I do music. It's all I can do. It's not all you have to do. That is, if you want something else, don't think you're going to be lesser of a musician. It might actually make you more like a more interesting musician, because people can relate to that. Oh, you work at, even if it's fast food, you work at a fast food place. Tell me about it. Talk about it. It makes you human. It's real. There's something wrong with that. Remember back in the day when you were like, people would say, let me rephrase that to make sense. Back in the day, something I used to hear a lot is, oh, so-and-so's going to fail and then start to flip burgers, right? That's always the thing. Oh, someone's going to, fail. Then they're going to flip burgers. Well, that's okay. That's okay. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I wouldn't want to say to anybody, oh, yeah, they're flipping burgers now, to make fun of them. Like, I believe in this. I don't know what karma is. I don't know exactly the rules of our universe and what what happens when you say something like that about somebody and it comes back to you in some way. I don't know what that is, but I do believe in something kind of like that. The older I get, the more I realize, like, sending good vibes out to the universe and sending good vibes out to people that I know is and just in general, is very important. And I don't think that's a very kind statement to be saying about, so-and-so fell. So-and-so, they were there and then now they're here. Like, no, it's not something I think about anymore. And even though sometimes, there is competition, humans are competitive. It doesn't mean you have to have like this sort of aggressive, like, outlook on people, like, so-and-so, got so close, but they didn't make it out, great. That's horrible. I don't want to think like that. And I think that that's kind of where that statement kind of comes from, so-and-so failed, they're flipping burgers now. But here we are now, and isn't it, like, more interesting? Isn't it more interesting to, like, we have these long form vlogs, like what Joe Rogan does, right? And you look at the interviews they used to do back, like 15 minutes on the Late Show, and it's like, what? Really? What do you learn with that? There's something to learn there. It's, there's literally nothing to learn there. It's like canned responses, canned entertainment, but it was good for its time. And now it's like you got 2-hour interviews where you're really learning about people. And even that, there's still more to learn about people. The real experience of actually knowing somebody. But the 2-hour interviews, 3-hour interviews, it's made it to where, like, okay, you can't just say one sentence and be like, oh my goodness, freaking brilliant, right? It's just more of a now sort of thing. And it's like, if you're a musician that says something like that, and deep inside you're like, well, I would like to try something else. Well, then do it. Do it. Because, I hate to sound cliche, but you get this lifetime to do something. And if at the back of your mind you're like, man, I've kind of always wanted to go into psychology, or I've always wanted to, be a therapist. I mean, that takes a long time, obviously, so, but my point being that there's time for that, and people can. There's no right way to do anything anymore. There really isn't. And you're probably like, Chris, I know this already. I just want to get it out there that I said it and put it on my vlog. So, anyways, I don't want to go further than 15 minutes, so I'll start wrapping this up. For me, in May 2021, it became obvious to me that I wanted to split my time doing a few different things. And I just released a new song, so I'm still doing music, and I actually have a few more songs I'm working on as well. So I got plans as here in this project, and just like I always have. In fact, it makes me appreciate my time that I get to do it a little bit more, to be honest with you. And I think my work is a little bit more precise, a little more focused, and not aimless. Because music, like I said, can be aimless. It can be very aimless. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do the next day. Even for successful bands, album, tour, album, tour, and even for successful artists, it's even the same festivals. It's the same ones. So it's kind of like, yeah, I think everyone kind of needs that sort of thing. And yes, I think that's why you see that a lot. Like with musicians, they kind of spread themselves out and do different things as well. And I'm excited about like this whole human resources thing. I really am. It's very interesting. It's hard. Is this what smart feels like? I'm not there yet. Just so you know. But writing essays, writing discussions for class and all that stuff. I'm not gonna. I won't lie. It can get quite tedious. But for me, most people did this in their early 20s, and for me, it's like, okay, I have to do this now. I'm doing it a lot for myself as well because I never did it, and it's gonna be nice to have that. Okay, I did this. Just as a milestone, and it'll help me learn and hopefully get a job in this field. And I think it will add to just myself as a musician. And anyways, so there is something that I almost forgot, and I'm glad I remembered. I do these as I just thinking, and hopefully it comes out right. If it doesn't, I stop it and start again. And I don't like to work on them too hard because all of a sudden 4 hours have passed, and it's like, goodness. But so this idea of here in the U.S., I'm sure around the world as well, but here in the U.S., we always believe like to believe in your dreams, to go for your dreams, living the dream, that sort of thing. I don't even know what that is anymore, to be honest with you. And I wanted to get these thoughts down on a video blog, and that is that dreaming is good. Having dreams is great. I believe it brings a creative out of us if we really try to go for that. But I do believe that at some point, like, it's good to be real. And I know, cliche once again, but sometimes that dream is actually hurting you. It's hurting you because there's so many more options for you, and you're ignoring them, and you're maybe just if I push a little here, or maybe a smarter marketing here. Well, look, you don't have to stop 100%, but give yourself a chance to not dream for a second. You can enjoy your. Besides, what happens when you reach a dream? Like, it's just a word. But it's the idea, like that idea of how do you know that the dream that you've been working for since you were young is still the dream you want? Have you ever thought about that? Like, maybe it's not. Maybe it changed somewhat. So it's very, very useful to do like dream checks every now and then. Wait a second, why do I want this? Okay. Well, yeah, I don't really want that anymore. I've kind of altered the dreams. So you should alter your dreams. Whether you wanted to call it your dream or your goal. Maybe goal might be a better word to use. Short-term goals, I find those better for me. Long-term goals tend to work very hard for this long-term goal. What if if some things change and it doesn't work out for you? Granted, some people are very good at that. So if you're very good at that, like Elon Musk is very good at that. Of course, I don't even want to act like I know what it's like or what. Yeah, I'm not. That's a different level. But yeah, I mean, if you find yourself saying like, that's all I can do, but you don't believe it, listen to that other voice every now and then. Okay, so that's all. That's it. So 15 minutes. You can still dream, but at the same time be real and alter that every now and then if you have to, because man, things are changing so fast. I'm not 100% sure time has not literally gotten faster. I'm sorry if that sounds like really conspiracy like, but does it not feel like things are just going so fast? Like it's Monday and then it's Friday. I don't know. I'm not convinced to me the universe hasn't changed. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, things move very fast. Follow what it is you want to do, really. And that's it. All right, until next time, rock on.